Myself, Shailesh Tripathi, Assistant Professor, IIMT College of Law, Greater Noida. Today, we will discuss on a topic which is related with the origination of state. Basically, origin of state theories have the some theories like the divine theory, horse theory, matriarchal, patriarchal, and in these theory, an important theory which has important place, it is the social contract theory. Social contract means a type of agreement which will be established in society by the people. The state of nature, before the state was, there no type of culture and civilization was established. Before social contract theory, the many scholars explained about the divine theory, force theory, and they told the state is origination of divine power. But in social contract theory, it described that the state is origination of human. The most famous theory with regard to the origin of state is the social contract theory. The theory tells that the state came into existence out of a contract between the people and the sovereign at some point. Means that who is sovereign, who will decide the policies, laws, he is supreme power. He is absolute power and he make the contact with people on the behalf of security, on behalf of their protection of their natural rights. According to this theory, there were two divisions in human history. One period is prior to establishment of the state, called the state of nature, and other period is one subsequent to foundation of the state, called the civil society. The state of nature was welfare of society, government, and political authority. There was no law to regulate the relations of the people in state of nature. Means that it was a natural status of state, and when people got the awareness, then people designed the civil society. Background of social contract theory beget in multiple literatures, in Indian literatures, in Western history, and the doctrine of social contract is faintly mentioned in the ancient period by both the Western and Indian philosophers. Plato was the first among the Western thinkers to use the term. It is also referred to in the Arthashastra of Kautilya. In the Indian history, the Arthashastra of Kautilya explains that the king make a type of contract with people for the protection of people, for the security of people. In Mahabharata also indicates a contract between king and the people in the ancient Indian system. The ideas of contractual obligations were mouthed by the anti-monarchical writers like Richard Hooker, Hugo Grotius, John Milton, Sir William Blackstone, Immanuel Kant, uh, and Edmund Burke's also. Means that it is very important that people make the contact with the ruler, and then ruler rule out on the society, and he protect the people, and it will be under the agreement, under the contract. So this is known as the social contract. We have the three main exponents of this theory. They were Thomashofs, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who differed about life in the state of nature, the region of converting the state of nature to civil society, and the terms of the contract. They all, however, agreed that the stage came in the history of man when the state of nature was exchanged with civil society to lead a regulated life under political authority. These three scholars, John Locke, Thomas Hobbes, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, they explained the state is mechanism of human. It came by the contact, but they was differ on the basis of contact. Someone told about the state of nature was different, and someone told the state of nature was it. The crux of social contract theory is that men create government for the purpose of securing their pre-existing natural rights, that the rights comes first, that the government is created to protect these rights. These ideas were based on the concepts of the state of nature, natural law, and natural rights. State of nature. It is the primary status before the civil society, before the creating state. State of nature in political theory is real or hypothetical condition of human beings before or without political association. The notion of a state of nature was an essential element of the social contract theory. According to social contract theory, the state was the creation of the people living in a state of nature, which was a lawless and orderless system. The state of nature was controlled by unwritten laws prescribed not by men but by nature. The exponents of the theory gave conflicting views about the nature of the state of nature. Some considered it gloomy, while others painted it as bright like paradise. A scholar whose name was the Thomashofs, Thomas was Hobbes, described the state of nature as it is. To begin with, before the state was created, there was a state of nature in which a war was raging. There was no law or justice. Human life was marked by the force and deceit. Might was right in that situation. Hobbes gave gloomy picture of the state of nature in his oft quoted verse, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish sort. It means, behalf of the halves, the state was not cultured. Human was like the animal, and his behavior was brutish. The state of nature is characterized by the war of every man against every man. Means that no type of brotherhood between the people. It was like the war, a constant and violent condition of competition in which each individual has a natural right to everything, regardless of the interests of others. Existence in the state of nature is the as Hobbes famously states solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and sour. The only laws that exist in the state of nature, the law of nature, are not convenience forced between people but principles based on the self-preservation. That unstable condition comes to an end when individual agreed in a civil contract to protect their natural rights to everything and the transfer their self-sovereignty to higher civil authority. It was the Leviathan. Basically, Hobbes wrote the book which name was the Leviathan. So he explained the authority as the Leviathan. Each individual in effect says to every other, I transfer my right to governing myself to X, the sovereign. If you do to this contract was created by people for self-protection and the creation of civil society. After it, Hobbes described about the social contract. Thomas Hobbes published the book Leviathan in 1651, delineates very precisely and straightforwardly the creation of the state by an agreement. The people became fed up with the state of nature. Nature means that by the struggling nature, by the brutish nature, by the anarchy in society, the people was fed up. So people designed the contract in order to get rid of the unbearable condition. They entered into an agreement by which they established a government or authority to which they surrenders all their rights. The surrender was unconditional and unrevocable. The authority was a single person or a group of persons endowed with unlimited power. The authority to rule was the result of the contract. Thomas Hobbes explains that the authority was possessed by unlimited power, but it was his authority. It was his Leviathan, means that he supported the unlimited power of state. He supported the dictatorship of state and his Leviathan was despotic. After Thomas Hobbes A new scholar whose name was John Locke. John Locke is also known as the father of liberalism. He wrote a book as the second treatise on civil government. John Locke justifying the limited monarchy of the English type drew his own state of nature means that John Locke explains state of nature in a new type. He did not agree that state of nature was a gloomy and dismal one as painted by Thomashofs. In contrast, Locke's state of nature was one of peace, reason, and goodwill. Yet, this semi-paradise could not satisfy the people because they were pinning for law, impartial authority. Means that he was not satisfied by the explanation of Thomashofs. Locke, by contrast, the state of nature is characterized by the absence of government but not by absence of mutual obligations. Beyond self-preservation, the law of nature or region also teaches all mankind who will but consult it that being all equal and independent, no one ought to harm another in his life. Liberty or possession, unlike Hobbes, Locke believed individuals are naturally endowed with these rights, life, liberty, and property, and that the nature of a state could be relatively peaceful. Locke's idea that right of life, liberty, and property are natural rights and that precede to establishment of civil society. Locke finally explained the social contract theory. The state of nature was impartial, individual, and natural rights were not protected. People abandoned the state of nature, though for different region. So in replacing the state of nature, the people created the civil society by a contract. That done, they made another contract by which the government in the person of king was set up. Here, the ruler was a party of the contract. The people would obey him so long he would protect their life and property. So, in Locke's social contract theory, there were two contracts, one for the creation of civil society and the other for establishment of state. Locke basically described the social contract and his social contract. We get the elements of political sovereignty. After Locke, a new scholar whose name is Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Rousseau also known as the father of French Revolution. He explains about the state of nature. The state of nature according to Rousseau, only mean a primitive state preceding socialization. It is thus devoid of social traits such as pride, envy, or even fear of others. The state of nature for Rousseau is morally natural, neutral, and peaceful condition in which solitary individuals act according to their basic urges as well as their natural desire for the self-preservation. Unlike Hobbes and Locke, the authority created was not given to the ruler but was restrained by the whole community. Means that Rousseau explains that it is the creation of civil society, each resultant of general will of whole community. As a matter of fact, the whole community expressed the general will in a public meeting. Subsequently, the government was created by a legislative measures. The people delegated power to the government. Rousseau's theory hallmark is general will. He believed in people sovereignty. He said that creation of social society by the general will. And Rousseau finally explained about the social contract, and he was the third player in the game of social contract theory. He struck a middle course between two English compartments. His book Social Contracts, published in 1762, reconciles the authority of state and liberty of the individual. Their human beliefs were free, healthy, honest, and happy, but there was debasement and degradation with the increase of population and with the progress of civilization, particularly with emergence of private property in land which destroyed the natural equality among men. To get out of this meaning position, men entered into an agreement with pledged each of us puts his own person and all his powers in common under the supreme direction of general will. And in our corporate capacity, we receive each members as an individual part of whole. Means that behalf of Rousseau, he believed in the people's sovereignty. He understands that state is creation of general will, which is the will of whole community. Thank you. This is the social contract theory, and all three scholars has the different views on sovereignty. Like Thomashofs believes in legal sovereignty, John Locke believes in political sovereignty, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau believes in general will and people sovereignty. Thank you. We will discuss next topic in next.